Now here's something interesting. When I used to go to Sunnyside with Maria, when she, when we went to go meet Melissa and whatever we did in trying to just meet, like sit in a place and meet people. I mean, like I didn't know what else to do in high school during St. John's, or even LIU. They still wanted to go back to Sunnyside. I don't even know how they found the place in Sunnyside. But on the way home, there was McDonald's, and the meal, the MEAL, was a number 7, supersized with a Diet Coke. Apparently, I just Googled it, and the maxi pad's wrong. Tampon with no application is wrong on Google, because it says something called a Selena Gomez is saying it's a ranch BLT and something else. I'm like, yeah, really? Because the 90s chick who actually made the order for number 7 with a diet on Coke, being Coca-Cola products, because I don't know, there's like a cola war somewhere in the world. Not that whatever would know. I don't even really know in actuality. But somewhere between balancing a seal on a giant white shark the size of a Guadalupe Bay size shark, and then they in New York, I've heard in the movies something about an on loan, but again, with this INS business on the downtick, or on the slope downwards, and then some mission unstoppable from some other kids in the engineering department who learned all of these fancy tricks of the trade that don't allow children like I to participate, even though I have the North Face, but here we are. So this gets confusing. But I know what I ordered whenever they would take me to McDonald's. It was always number 7. It was always supersized, which means it came with French fries and whatever. Oh, and that's only relevant because I saw this morning on See the BS, in Italiano è zucchero, in English it's the sugar, but zucchero, it's the love of the zoo, the sugar kids, and I know in like the Brady Bunch territory, like they munch on, they're only allowed to have like 2 carrots, otherwise they might, like, I don't know, whatever. So they have something about this size. They now do 3D printing. They made a espresso flavored, like sugar thing on a 3D printer, and it was peppermint and espresso is what they said. Sounded delicious. It's what I order at Starbucks. But it's made, I think, but it's like artistry done. I saw a chocolate person the other day who, I mean, like, his sculptures out of chocolate were like, holy crow. But he made an eagle, like, in flight. I mean, it was beautiful. But they make these now on computer generated on some program, and then they go into 3D printing world, and then they hand whatever. But the word zucchero sounds like zoo, and then it sounds like caro, caro mio, caro bello, caro bella, whatever. So it sounds like the love of the zoo and things to offer, like nice things, because they come in these small, like little everything's minimalist. Yeah, I got that. Except on this side of the water, everything is like, super size me. The children of Earth are off. They're a little touched in the head. I don't know. It feels like, and then I'm like, I'm so doting on the supersized children, then they get mad at the minimalist. If I'm more doting on the minimalist, then they get mad at the supersized me children. This puts me in a dangerous spot as usual. I don't know what to do between a receiver and a Tom Seaver and a Diatom and an A-Tom. And then there was the Brady Tom with the ball thing the other night on the same day that they were doing the baseball Mets Seaver in a statute of I don't know what. So let me go get the morning show to show you the doting for the minimalist, because everything here in this supersize me world is like, I can't even get minimalist things accomplished for myself, let alone a supersize me project. I'm like so bottom of the barrel at the moment. Нет спасибо. Non piace. So it's like, where do you give credit where credit is due on these things of, I don't need distracted drivers. I don't want these, like, increased dependence on ridiculous technology. I need to go back to them loving to live in the real world, which does not exist on a day-to-day basis in the Big Apple. Not for the majority of us. And then this is what they send this morning, is that they're still producing these ridiculous projects for what I don't know. But they did, so I have to appreciate and dote on the fact that they did incorporate this tiny little coffee-flavored minty thing and sugar that somebody else ate. I didn't get to eat it. At the minimalist side of things, it's about the size of the carrot that the kiddos were noshing on at the gymnastics camp that Lynn and Lou dropped me off at in Rhode Island, that I really have no recall of, except sitting down on a mat on my knees in a circle with a few of, like, the other beautiful children. They were more fortunate. They spoke about it, but more, not really, but they showed what they were allowed to eat. And then asked if, whatever. And I don't remember the whole thing, but I know it was like, I think the small carrots, they call them baby carrots or whatever, and then a few, I think, like 2 or 3 grapes and a piece of cheese. That was it. Because I don't know if it was because they were gymnasts, ballerinas, whatever. And then that was it. I don't remember the rest of the week I spent there. I don't remember getting home or how I got home. I just know I was in the state of Rhode Island, and I know Linda and Lou dropped me off. I know I was there and someone walked up to me. I think it was Nicklaus walked up to me, gorgeous as always, and just said hello, and then that was it. And then I, again, remember is not usually based on what's going on in wherever I'm being held in New York or the Big Apple. But somehow we were able to get face-to-face in proximity. And then it just went back to, I don't know. I don't know what happened after that. But here I am. And this is the year 2022.
Whole new use for the technology. One where the D in 3D might just as well stand for delicious. Our Jamie Wax has the story.
In the modern world, we hear the term 3D printing so frequently that it's almost become meaningless. But at a tech/culinary startup in downtown Los Angeles, 3D printing is creating something very specific and sweet.
And a lot of
Technology and culinary meet. And this is what they created. I'm still not where I need to be, just so we're clear.
these designs, yeah, like we have inspiration from chefs, or just we kind of have some crazy ideas in the lab, and we're just like, okay, let's just make this really fun food product.
Sugar Lab creates small, beautiful, detailed sculptures, every one of them edible. Creative director.
Now, at this Bodies in the Basement, where I have one of my own in the kitchen, and there's some Mission Unstoppable going on, I'm just curious how that works, because it's in the, I see UBS, and it's CBS, and here's one of, like, I don't know, it's not that far off, but then there's the, and they're cooking up in the kitchen here with some crazy lead-ins in the ways that they're processed.
Director William Hu showed us some highlights, including some custom-made designs special.
Was his last name Who? Oh, that's interesting how this sounds.
For our visit, like these cake toppers, tiny bites of a...
Is it antidotal to dote on someone? That, again, I'm just pointing out and stating the obvious.
Of a latte filled with ganache.
That was a very complex bite. I mean, I've got chocolate, I've got peppermint, and I've got coffee flavor in here. But they're all sort of hitting at a slightly different time and in a different way.
Yeah, we love that, kind of bringing our, customers through that experience.
Craft beer bonbons incorporating various beers into the filling.
The visual printing on these is incredible.
We kind of took inspiration from breweries to make really poppy labels, and then, yeah, with the shadows, we wanted to really emphasize the
Poppy labels. You lost me on that one. Because the way that they've used the poppy plant, and so on and so forth in these days, in these areas, and then with the Wizard of Oz movie and the Yellow Brick Road, the ruby red shoes, and then the house that just, oh my God, in a windstorm just gets picked up and blown away, and then there's a bicycle, a basket, a little dog, Toto. It definitely, at Oklahoma, gets confusing for Kansas.
that little pop top on top.
And they even add an element of fun and sparkle to drinks with these glitter bombs.
These are lime flavored, printed with edible glitter. As you can see, it's melting there with the glitter.
I mean, that's just fun.
Yeah.
That's to watch, much less drink. That's just fun. Well, cheers to your creativity, Will.
Cheers. Thank you.
Like many revolutionary ideas, the whole thing started almost by accident in the college apartment of founder Kyle Von Hatt.
Didn't they say revolutionary? Oh my God, in the American Revolting Project? No. Who started all of this, and why is it still going on, and why am I in this position as opposed to where I would rather be when everybody else seems to get to do whatever the hell they please?
Hassel, who was studying architecture.
I basically was grocery shopping with my wife, and we brought home some cake batter, like in a box. And we get into our tiny grad student apartment, and we realized we didn't have...
He got to go to grad school? How did that happen? Like, who taught you that grad school? I didn't even know there's a grad school. I don't know what they do in grad school. But is that like part of their doctorate or their PhD, or is that their mastery program? Is it the higher school than just the university and college and high school? Because again, the English words with the other cryptic children gets really convoluted, diluted, and then built and constructed in all the wrong process, since some of them are trying to work on missions unstoppable in a UN program, where the rest of us are just like, no, they're not. They're our friends. I don't have that problem because I was not given opportunity to participate in the same stuff at like a grad level. So again, that when we talk about what is it, dissociative personality, right? Yeah, I don't have a grad personality. I don't have a master's personality. I don't, well, master's depending on who you speak to, but I don't have whatever sociopathic and socio-engineering this part of the Big Apple 43 years into a trap or a muse or a labyrinth of some sort. I am disassociative of it. I'm observant of it. I don't know how to disenfranchise myself from it, if that's what's needed, or to franchise myself differently, if that's what's needed. Again, these words become very confusing depending on who's asking, and I really don't have that over 6 foot G over person that I need. I only have this G under position with that person that when I was younger came for me, but I keep winding up with Lynn and Lou for some reason.
Didn't have an oven, so there was no way to bake it actually, and we thought, what would it be like to actually use this 3D printer that we've been using for architectural purposes and pour in.
Like, how does a grad thing work? Is that like a country thing? Is that a statesman thing? Is that a sports thing? Is that a local path? Because are there ministers that put you on that path? Because I'm deficient of those. Is that a church thing? Is that, I mean, is that a royal thing? It gets confusing. Is that a citadel thing? Is that in the RIO? Is that in the EIEIO? Is that in the Fee Fi Fo Fum? How does all of that get put together in planning for the seedlings in the gardens? And how does your garden grow? I mean, there is a little Bo Peep, and she has lost her sheep, and she doesn't know where to find them.
Pour in sugar. Could you 3D print frosting? Could you make it sculptural? Could you add color?
After some experimenting, his vision eventually grew beyond the existing capability.
We realized that the technology couldn't go much farther unless we did a lot of research, a lot of homework, and developed a 3D printer from scratch, which would require a lot of innovation, a lot of invention.
That's when he brought in co-founder and chief operating officer Megan Bozeman.
Megan, 3D printing was the focus of your work and your life at the time. When you heard about this application, what did you first think?
It's a market that had not even been tapped into, and the
Right, because here we are in this American revolting project, and you're all having a revolution, and there are other people who are being hurt by this much of innovation and this much revolution. It depends on who you talk to at Indy and Penance and Pendant from their crowns, and some going, no, God save the Queen, right? I'm burrowed in Queens at the moment. So there's it needing to have no sibling rivalry and to just know if this is a motherland and there's a fatherland somewhere or vice versa, because I don't want to have gender disputes and gentrify and whatever. I'm very clearly not from around here, and or am from around here, but there's a lot of them not from around here in here at the moment. So, and I don't know how to verse that to like get where I need to be. So that gets really confusing. But look, here's the overeducated or the blessed with a path to take part in this revolution that's still going on and is upsetting other whatever. And I don't know, like we're of some kind of species that looks whatever, close enough, close. But again, I grew up under a rock in a small schoolhouse. I didn't get to whatever innovative specialness they developed. And I am in some kind of, it looks like international laundry machine, like at a laundromat. I don't know, Ken, what to say about it. I don't know how it developed this way. But I know what I would like to spend time with. I just don't have access to that in my daily whatever. So I'm now just questing for where does one find a whatever they need in actuality from humanity when it is so awry at the moment. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe. Galaxy is broken, and it is Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's April 16th, 2022. Oh, and just for clarity, I'm within this at the moment, still within this, which I don't know what, I just don't know. I don't know.